This morning when I awakened to a winter wonderland. Here in Oregon, where I live, from time to time, we get snowfall. Not a lot, but when we do, the world that I live in these small mountains, it's turned into a virtual winter wonderland. Literally, the pines and the madrones are draped in this beautiful white, pure snow, and you look out the window as I did, and you feel like you're standing in a cathedral of a sort. And of course, the snow brings this silence with it, this great quietude, and one is very lucky. It's beautiful. Notwithstanding, very shortly thereafter, because of the nature of the country that I live in, the part of the country, the temperature warms up a little bit, and the next thing you know, you look out at the same trees and you see as though someone had taken a great eraser and the snow melt falls off of the trees, and even if it's still snowing lightly, there's this cascade, a waterfall of white falling from the trees onto the ground. And it's breathtaking. But its beauty is more than just the experience of seeing the countryside turned white and then return to its normal state. The beauty is also in a certain relationship that one experiences when we look out and see something like that. And to make the point, if you've ever seen Buddhist monks or other traditions where they create these sand mandalas, taking fine white colored sand and creating these elaborate images, these metaphors for life. And then as soon as they're done with them, they wipe them off the table or the ground. All that work and then just obliterated. And one wonders, why would someone do that? The answer is because there's a great teaching in it. Just as there's a great teaching in looking outside and seeing this snowfall create a cathedral, a natural church full of silence, and then 5 minutes later nature comes and uses her hand and wipes the slate clean. It may be unseen, but it may be necessary as well for us to start understanding that one of the great sources of conflict in our life is our wish for continuity. I know it's hard to understand, it's challenging at best. But so much of us wants life to go on, to be not just as it's been, but a perfection of it, a progression of it, if you will, in which what we have known and done and had as individuals is continually expressed, continually brought into a further fruition by which we can look into this mirror of what is essentially our past, and in its consideration in our imagined relationship with the past, because that's the only way the past exists, is in our imagination. Then there's this sense of ourself that goes on. But it's this very wish of our sense of self to go on that creates this constant conflict with life as it is, with this beautiful hand of God, if you will, of this intelligence that creates beauty and then removes it, or brings the fulfillment, the fruition of something and then takes it off of the trees, removes it from the tree of ourself. But not us. No, we want to hold on, cling to what we've been, what we've done, where we've gone, who we are. I tell you that we must start to recognize, as best we can, and it is difficult, that the reason that, for instance, we feel interrupted, someone walks into our home, someone says them to us, a phone call comes, whatever it is that's unwanted. What's unwanted about the moment isn't the fact of the moment, but that it interferes with this sense of ourself that is woven its nature into this continuity, this continuation of an ideal, this continuation of a certain expression of ourself. Nothing continues in reality, although reality is continuity. But it's where we place ourselves in that continuous life It's our understanding that in order for it to be new, made new, renewed, it must be refreshed. And if we would be refreshed, if we would have a new life, a new year, then we must agree to see where this part of us that wants the continuity, that ceaseless reminder through the rib of our existence, we must let it go. We must be willing to see that beauty isn't something that has been made and then becomes stayed, and that we as the observer of it continue in the observation of it as someone who knows what beauty is, but rather a relationship with change, with the constant refreshment of what is beautiful and true. These words may be they may not dress what I would describe as well as I would describe it. But if you can see just as best you can where you want things to be as they've been, instead of allowing them to be as they are, and then see the struggle involved in that, whatever it is, then you can learn to let go, not because of an image you have of yourself as someone who's spiritual, but because you are one with the spirit of change itself, with the intelligence that drives and perfects all things through its actions.